Hello dear students of third year prep science for first and second term. Today we have a second episode about a general review. We have today different types of questions and we have to concentrate about the most questions in this episode about the lessons in second term. Let's go to start our episode today, and I hope anyone have any problem to call us on phone numbers on the screen. Okay, let's go to start with the first type of questions. نبدأ مع بعض. بيقول لي what أو زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا complete the following statements. Number 1 السؤال الأولاني. What is the only way for hormones to reach their sites of action؟ طبعا ايه أول أو only way الطريق الوحيد for hormones to reach their sites of reaction. طبعا we have only way as blood is the only way for hormones to reach their sites أماكن of action، أماكن الشغل أو أماكن الأكشنز بتاعتهم. السؤال اللي بعديه pituitary gland lies مكانها تقع below what and it is called the what or main gland. طبعا pituitary gland lies below مكانها تحت below the brain تحت المخ the brain and it is called the what or main gland. طبعا احنا عارفين ال pituitary gland has two names. طبعا we can call pituitary gland as main gland or the mother gland. طبعا we know why pituitary gland is called the mother or main gland, because it secretes hormones that control the other endocrine glands. Number 3, here we have the two hormones secreted by pancreas are what and what. We have two hormones are secreted by pancreas, as we have what and what hormones. We have two hormones here as insulin hormone and glucagon hormone. Insulin hormone and the glucagon hormone. We know insulin, by the way, insulin, its function to decrease the percentage or the ratio of glucose in blood. بيقلل نسبة السكر في الدم. طبعا while glucagon hormone has the opposite action, increases the ratio or the percentage of glucose in blood. طبعا during fasting مثلا أثناء الصوم أو كده we need to change glycogen from liver into glucose in the blood by glucagon hormone. Next question is choose the correct answer. We have here number 1, as pituitary gland is called the what gland. طبعا we know we have many names of pituitary gland as main gland, as mother gland, and as master gland, because as we said before, pituitary gland secretes hormones control the activities of the other endocrine glands. بتتحكم في كل الغدد الصماء التانية اللي هي الانdocrine glands. طبعا so pituitary gland below the brain and control the other endocrine glands. Number 2, the hormone which determines the height طبعا اللي هو الارتفاع او الطول that person will reach at adulthood. طبعا مرحلة البلوغ أو مرحلة إن هو يوصل لأقصى نمو ليه. adulthood stage is what hormone. طبعا we can determine the height or increasing or decreasing the height of any person by only one hormone. This hormone is called what? Is called growth hormone. As we studied before, growth hormone is secreted also from the pituitary gland. برضه هو كمان طالع من ال pituitary gland below the brain طبعا with other hormones. هو كمان مع other hormones. We have another question here, dear students, as we have learn to walk in children is not considered a genetic trait. طبعا learn to walk تعلم المشي in children is not considered a genetic trait. طبعا we have a big difference here, dear students, between genetic trait and acquired trait. We have I hope we can see the difference here. We have two types of traits. We have acquired traits, we have genetic traits. Acquired traits, which means what? Trait or صفات يعني can't be transmitted from one generation to another. مش هتتنقل من جيل لجيل. Can't be transmitted from one generation or from the parents to offspring. دي اسمها acquired trait، يعني اللي هي بنتعلمها زي المشي، زي القرايه، زي الكتابه، زي لعب الكوره، يعني reading, writing, playing. But we have another traits, as we have here traits as color of skin, color of eyes, tallness, shortness. These traits are called what? Are called inherited traits. صفات وراثيه. So it can be transmitted from one generation to another، يعني هتتنقل من جيل لجيل. So here we should differentiate between acquired trait صفات مكتسبة and we have another type of traits as inherited or hereditary traits. As we have here, we talk about learn of anything. أتعلم أي حاجة. طبعا we can say these traits are acquired traits. Okay? So we have to write the answer here. نكتبها مع بعض. Number one, learn to walk in children is not considered a genetic trait. طبعا هقول له because it can't be transmitted from parents to offspring or from one generation to another. من جيل لجيل. Generation to another. Next question, dear students, we have here as red precipitates, precipitate معناها راسب, is formed on adding magnesium to copper sulfate solution. Here we have a question from unit 1 as we talk about the types of chemical reactions أو أنواع التفاعلات الكيميائية. As here we talk about simple substitution reaction. We can answer this question by writing the chemical equation as you see like that. اكتب الchemical equation if you give reason what happens, but not only the chemical equation. We should write below the chemical equation. لازم اكتب تحت الchemical equation the names and color as possible of these substances. لازم اكتبها تحتيها. يعني هو بيقول لي adding magnesium to copper sulfate، يبقى just we have to write Mg plus CuSO4 copper sulfate. So we know copper more active than magnesium more active than copper. So we have here MgSO4 plus Cu. As here we have copper precipitate or زي ما نقول راسب. هو قال لي red precipitate، طبعا بكتب تحتي ده copper red precipitate. طيب خلاص كده؟ لا طبعا we have to write here magnesium and plus copper sulfate. And we know the color of copper sulfate is blue. Copper sulfate, its color, and the copper hydroxide also have the same color. Both have what? Blue color. So we write the names of the compounds and color as possible. Here we have red and here we have blue copper sulfate. So we can answer both, give reason and what happens. نقدر نجاوبهم by chemical equations, but not only the chemical equations, we will write below the chemical equations the names of these substances and the colors as possible. So here we have question number 3 بيقول لي by increasing the temperature the speed of chemical reaction increase. لما بزود التمبريتشر سرعة reaction بتزيد. يا ترى ليه؟ طبعا by increasing temperature أقول له because number of collision. طبعا كلمة collisions يعني اصطدامات. number of collisions between molecules increase or will increase. So here we talk about many factors as temperature, as surface area. Here we have, as we studied before, dear students, in this lesson, we have, for example, عندنا زي ما احنا عارفين factors affecting the speed of chemical action. What is meant by speed of chemical action? قلنا speed of chemical action, which means what? معناها the change in the ratio of the reactants and the products as time passes. يعني في وقت في الموضوع. أنا بتكلم على speed، على سرعة. So we have factors affecting the speed of chemical action. Concentration of the reactants, تركيز. Number 2, temperature of the reaction. Number 3, the surface area. These factors، واحد يقول لي لما زودت surface area as powder مثلا will dissolve faster than piece. لو انا حطيت piece of sugar و powder of sugar, which one will dissolve faster؟ طبعا الباودر. as effervescent tablet قرص فوار، لو انا طحنته قبل ما add to a cup of water مثلا او glass of water, powder will react faster than piece or tablet. So as temperature, as surface area, as concentration, we have only one answer. عندنا إجابة واحدة. Because the number of collisions between molecules increase, so the speed of chemical reaction will increase. سرعة التفاعل الكيميائي هي كمان هتزيد. And we have another factor as ionic compounds and covalent compounds. Ionic compounds react faster. Why? Because the reaction between ions, and we studied before in lesson 1, we know ان الايونز positive and negative exchange faster، بيحصل ما بينهم attraction force. while the covalent compounds react slower، بتتفاعل بس أبطأ. ما قلتش no reaction، قلت slower because the reaction between molecules not between ions. So we should differentiate the students here between the reaction between ionic compounds and the covalent compounds. Ionic compounds, the reaction between ions, and the covalent compounds, the reaction between molecules. Okay? So here in this question, as we see, بيقول لي by increasing temperature the speed of chemical reaction increase. اقول له because number of collisions between molecules increase. عرفت منين؟ قال لي ان هو بيتكلم هنا على temperature. Okay. Number 4, alternating current is preferred than direct current. يا ترى ليه؟ Alternating current is preferred. طبعا we have two types of electric current. عندنا نوعين من التيار الكهربي AC and DC, alternating current and direct current. So we should differentiate here between AC and DC. طبعا هو هنا بيسألني alternating current is preferred مفضل than direct current. Okay, طبعا we have 3 reasons at least here. عندنا 3 أسباب. Number 1, طبعا هكتب because. Number 1 AC which means alternating current التيار المتردد زي ما بيسموه has variable هنا معناها متغير variable intensity and direction. متغير الانتنستي الشدة and direction الاتجاه بتاعه. Number 2 can be transferred for along distances. Number 3 can be changed into direct current DC. طبعا I remember here my teacher when I was as you in prep stage لما كنت مكانكم في اعدادي. My teacher asked me a question about AC and DC. If you have AC and AC have 99 options لو ال AC عنده 99 ميزة and DC have يعني لو قال لي مثلا ال DC الدايركت كارنت has 99 options عنده 99 ميزة وال AC have only one option. We will choose what? AC or DC? We will choose AC. Why? Because AC can be changed into DC. Alternating current can be changed into direct current. فلو أنا عندي one option ميزة واحدة في ال AC طب ما أنا can be changed into direct current. But direct current can't be changed into alternating current. مش هينفع يتحول ل alternating current تاني. فبالتالي لو أنا عندي ميزة واحدة في ال alternating current هقدر أخدها بالdirect current with another 99% or another 99 options. And alternating current can be transferred for a long distance. اقدر انقله مسافات طويله between countries, between cities, between الدول ما بين المدن. And alternating current has variable intensity and direction. متغير ال current intensity and direction can be transferred from A to C and A to B. ممكن انقله من دوله للتانيه وبالليل مثلا اعكس اتجاهه من this country to another country and vice versa والعكس بالعكس. So we should here we have this question as compare in form of give reason. هو كأنه بيقول لي compare between alternating current and direct current but in this case أو in this question as give reason أو compare in form of give reason مقارنة في شكل give reason أو علل. Okay? So we should remember how can we differentiate and the definition of each one of them. Definition مهم because in some questions we can answer by using definition. Okay, and in some questions we can answer by using chemical equation as you see in the previous questions زي ما شفنا في الأسئلة اللي فاتت. Okay, let's go to complete our questions dear students as we have here the next question. Magnesium can replace copper in its salt solution. المغنيسيوم يقدر يخش مكان الكوبر in its salt solution while the opposite is impossible. طبعا this question يعني answer itself مجاوب نفسه تقريبا. يعني بيقول لي المغنيسيوم يقدر replace الكوبر and opposite impossible. يعني الكوبر can't replace magnesium. يعني لو عملناها كده Mg plus CuSO4 we answer question this equation before simple substitution. Magnesium can replace copper and we have here magnesium sulfate MgSO4 plus Cu as copper precipitate, red precipitate. But if we have here dear students, if we have here opposite or another equation like for example copper plus MgSO4 we can write here what? We can write no reaction. Why no reaction؟ مفيش تفاعل هيحصل. Why؟ طبعا because we can answer here because yes copper less active than what? Magnesium. In what? Less active in what؟ مش كده not complete answer. In chemical activity series. So copper can't replace magnesium in its what? In its solution. مش هينفع يخش مكانه. لأن الكبر less active أقل في النشاط من المغنيسيوم. الكلام ده فين؟ أقول له in chemical activity series. And طبعا we remember chemical activity series as arranging of metals in descending order according to their chemical activities. طبعا we should remember the definition of chemical activity series and the arranging of metals in descending order. خلي بالنا ما قلتش ascending، قلت descending order، يعني from the most active to the least active، من الأقوى نشاطا للأقل نشاطا. chemical activity series طبعا start with potassium, sodium, barium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium. تمام. and we should remember the difference between them. طيب لو أنا عندي chemical activity series as we studied before, which one more active, aluminium or zinc? aluminium or zinc. طبعا لو واحد مذاكر هيقول لي aluminium or zinc. طبعا لا، aluminium more active than zinc. طب كويس قوي. لو جبت بقى piece of aluminium و piece of zinc in hydrochloric acid، هتتخيلوا مين اللي react faster؟ الزنك. واحد يقول لي how come aluminium more active than zinc in the chemical activity series? So how zinc react faster than aluminium؟ اقول له على فكره ده give reason مهم جدا. Sometimes ان هو ask about aluminium react slower than zinc with hydrochloric acid or zinc react faster than aluminium with hydrochloric acid. المهم ان الزنك هيكسب. اقول له طبعا because او due to the formation of aluminium oxide layer. Okay, dear students, we have just little break, then we will return back. Hello, dear students, welcome back. We have here to complete our revision. We have last question here. We have to compare between aluminium and zinc as the reaction. Logically, we have aluminium more active than zinc in the chemical activity series, but at the same time, aluminium take a long time than zinc to react with مثلا for example hydrochloric acid. طبعا here we have give reason for. هنكتبه مع بعض. يلا نكتبه مع بعض. بيقول لي هنا اهو give reason for. give reason for aluminium react slower than zinc with hydrochloric acid HCl. طبعا this question logically ان انا طبيعي كده هقول له طبعا يعني how come ان الالومنيوم react slower او الزنك react faster than aluminium. طبعا answer بتاعتي هقول له because او due to formation of aluminium oxides layer. طبقة الصدى اللي هو rust of aluminium like iron rust زي صدى الحديد كده، طبعا بيبقى اسمه iron oxide. تمام. انما هنا due to the formation of aluminium oxide layer, aluminium oxide layer here delay the reaction، بتأخر الرياكشن between aluminium and any other substance like hydrochloric acid. So here we know the difference as a tricky question, indirect question here, as a comparison between the action or the activity of aluminium and the zinc with the same substance. Okay. Let's go to complete with another question. نكمل بسؤال تاني about برضو the second term. Here we have, as we have calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide is used in civil works. What is meant by civil works؟ يعني ايه civil works؟ طبعا الأعمال اللي هي المدنية أو الإنشاءات. Calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide. Some questions calcium oxide and another questions calcium hydroxide. Okay? As the same time we can call calcium carbonate. برضو calcium carbonate تنفع؟ Yes. ينفع ولا؟ طيب all calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide or calcium carbonate, they are used in what? Used in what? Because they used in cement mixture. طبعا سيمنت معناها الاسمنت، بيستخدم في خلطة الاسمنت، عشان كده we يعني obtain أو we need calcium oxide or hydroxide or calcium carbonate in civil works. طبعا أعمال الإنشاءات أو الأعمال المدنية. Okay. As here we talk about question 8 بيقول لي burning of steel source اللي هو خيط أو جزء أو معدن يعني burning بعمله عملية حرق in jar filled with oxygen. خلي بالنا قال filled with ايه؟ oxygen and we studied before in primary stage أخدنا في ابتدائي إن الأكسجين helps in ايه؟ in burning بيساعد على الاشتعال. is faster than burning in atmospheric air. أقول له طبعا atmospheric air الهواء الجوي contains oxygen but burning in what? In jar filled with oxygen. oxygen only. لو انا حرقت حاجه في مكان فيه oxygen بس هتبقى مالها faster than burning in atmospheric air. طبعا هنا we talk about factor from the factors affecting the speed of chemical action, as here we talk about the concentration. As we talk about the concentration هقول له because concentration increase, and if the concentration increases the speed so the speed the concentration increases so the speed of reaction increases in the jar. طبعا jar هنا معناها إناء زي البرطمان كده، يبقى we talk about the concentration. We talk about what? We talk about the concentration. Okay. Next question, as we have here, as we talk about before, the answer أو the key of the answer inside the question. يعني مفتاح الإجابة دايما هنلاقيه جوه السؤال. If we study and we understand، مش بنحفظ، بنفهم. لما خدنا بالنا all the previous questions we can pick the answers from the question. احنا قدرنا نطلع الإجابة من جوه السؤال نفسه. So read the question more than one time. ممكن نقرأ السؤال أكتر من مرة. And we pick only one word from the question. هنلاقي كلمة في السؤال. Not big deal or difficult to pick this answer from the question. هنطلع الإجابة من جوه السؤال. and then answer according to these words. من الكلمة دي أقدر أطلع الأنسر. زي هو بيقول لي هنا هوت jar filled with oxygen faster than in atmospheric air. واحد يقول لي طب ما الاتموسفيريك اير فيه اكسجين والجار فيه اكسجين، بس هنا الجار contain oxygen only. So we talk about concentration. As another question، سؤال تاني، we preserve foods. احنا بنحافظ على الاكل فين؟ في البيت بنحط الاكل فين؟ in refrigerator او in fridge اللي هي الثلاجه. طيب ليه؟ واحد هيقول لي طبعا الثلاجه يبقى we talk about what factor؟ temperature، concentration، surface area. واحد يقول لي طبعا we talk about temperature. If temperature increase, the speed of chemical reaction will increase. If temperature decrease, the speed of chemical reaction will decrease. يبقى انا بحط we preserve food in fridge. Why؟ اقول له because او to decrease what؟ بقلل ايه؟ temperature. To decrease the reaction between food and bacteria، عشان اقلل الرياكشن ما بين الاكل والبكتيريا اكيد. Especially in summer، خاصة في الصيف. As medicines، الأدوية منهم طبعا should preserve in low temperature، لازم تحط في درجة. يبقى we have concentration، we have surface area، we have temperature، the main three factors. If they increase, the speed of chemical reaction will increase. If they decrease, the speed of chemical reaction will decrease also. Okay? Let's go to complete our questions, dear students. As we have here, next question. السؤال اللي بعديه بيقول لي the limbs، الأطراف bones of some people grow continuously so they become giant، بيبقوا عمالقة. طبعا هنا أنا ما قلتش طول، ما قلتش طويل، أنا قلت giant، قلت عملاق، يعني more than مثلا 2.5 meters، بيبقى طوله اكتر من 2.5 متر. فانا كلمه جاينت هنا so we talk about what؟ احنا بنتكلم على ايه؟ واحد من اللي قاعدين بيسمعوني هيقول لي we talk about the growth hormone، هرمون النمو. يبقى here we talk about growth hormone. هقول له due to increasing of growth hormone from what gland؟ Yes, from pituitary glands. طبعا احنا متفقين ان pituitary gland is the most او master gland او mother gland او main gland in the human body. Control the other endocrine glands. زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا. The next question بيقول لي pituitary gland is called the master gland. اسمها master gland. Why؟ طبعا we know. هقول له because yes, it secretes hormones to control the activity or activities of other endocrine glands. Endocrine glands. So here, dear students, we should remember، لازم نفتكر مع بعض. We have pituitary gland below the brain. تحت المخ عندنا حاجة اسمها pituitary gland. We have pancreas. We have pancreas. We have adrenal glands. Two adrenal glands اللي هي secrete adrenaline hormone above the. We have two adrenal glands above each kidney. فوق كل كلى من ال two kidneys in the abdominal cavity في منطقة الايه المعدة تحت. طيب we have what؟ We have thyroid gland. عندنا gland هنا اسمها thyroid gland. تمام؟ We have to differentiate between each one of them. Each one of them has its own function. كل واحدة فيهم ليها وظيفة خاصة بيها. بس at the same time which gland control the activities of other endocrine glands. مين اللي هتتحكم في كل دول؟ only one gland اللي هي اسمها pituitary gland اللي هي below the brain اللي هي consist of two lobes, anterior lobe and posterior lobe. anterior and posterior lobe طبعا control what? control the growth، هي اللي بتتحكم في النمو بتاعنا. height, length of limbs، حجم او طول الاطراف بتاعتنا. and at the same time control the activities of other endocrine glands. طبعا عندنا الثايرويد جلاند. طب ايه الفانكشن بتاعت الثايرويد جلاند اللي موجوده هنا؟ دي بتعمل ايه؟ دي كنترول حاجتين اتنين. كنترول ذا فود اسيميليشن، حرق، عمليه الحرق بتاعت الاكل من الثايرويد جلاند، وفي نفس الوقت باي ثايروكسين هرمون، بتطلع ثايروكسين هرمون. and at the same time secrete calcitonin hormone control the ratio or the percentage of calcium in blood، بتحكم في نسبه الكالسيوم اللي موجوده في الايه؟ في الدم. طبعا طب الادرينال جلاند بتعمل ايه؟ الادرينال جلاند واحد اسم لك سكريت ادرينالين هرمون. ادرينالين هرمون، ادرينالين هرمون ده stimulate the body for emergencies، بيهيئ الجسم للحالات الايه؟ اللي هي مش طبيعيه، اللي هي unexpected cases، الحالات اللي مش متوقعه، حد بيجري ورا حد، بيهرب من حاجه كده، فيبتدي يعمل activity more than the normal case، بيعمل نشاط اكتر من المعدل الطبيعي. مثلا حد مثلا وراه امتحان، وراه حاجه مهمه، ممكن يبقى بيقعد مثلا ما بينامش، بيبقى عنده activity اكتر من اي يوم تاني بسبب ان الادرينال جلاند اللي بعد كده الهرمون بيبتدي ديكريز، يبتدي الجسم يبقى محتاج ان هو take a rest، ياخد راحه تاني. Okay dear students, let's go to complete our questions as we have here the next question. بيقول لي what happens when heating sodium nitrate؟ اسخن صوديوم نيتريت. طبعا as we deal with each other زي ما اتفقنا مع بعض ان how can we deal with these types of questions as we have sodium nitrate by heating. واحد يقول لي yes we can answer by chemical equation but with names and colors as possible. طبعا sodium nitrate its symbol is what? Na 2Na NO3 sodium nitrate by heating. طبعا هنا triangle معناه ايه؟ heating. sodium nitrate will decompose into what? into 2Na NO2 plus O2. So here we have sodium nitrate. Its color is white، لونه أبيض. Change into by heating into sodium، خلي بالنا من الكلمة اللي هنقولها، sodium nitrite. We have to differentiate between sodium nitrate NaNO3 and the sodium nitrite NaNO2. Okay? طبعا plus what? Plus oxygen. We have to write here sodium nitrite, its color is yellowish white، يعني أبيض مصفر، yellowish white. As a song يعني زي أغنية sodium nitrite yellowish white as we see. يبقى هو كان لونه white by heating change into yellowish white. Why? Because sodium nitrate change into sodium nitrite and the oxygen gas evolves. الأكسجين طبعا هو اللي بيطلع لفوق. Next question dear students, here we have putting a piece of sodium in water. طبعا هنا dear students in this question putting a piece of sodium in water we studied before in first prep, in second prep and in third prep. يعني this equation خدناها في اولى اعدادي وفي ثانيه اعدادي وفي ثالثه اعدادي. فعيب قوي ان احنا لما يجي لنا equation sodium in water the most famous reaction on Facebook on YouTube طبعا we have piece of sodium in water we have pop sound صوت فرقعة. Why? Due to the effervescence أو the evolution of hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas burn with pop sound هو اللي بيعمل الفرقعة دي. طبعا we have this equation as simple substitution reaction. ليه؟ لأن الصوديوم more active than hydrogen هيخش مكانه هيخرج الهيدروجين هو اللي بيعمل pop sound. And we have sodium hydroxide. طبعا sodium hydroxide NaOH. This equation in first prep, in second prep, in third prep. طبعا متكررة 3 مرات. فطبعا يعني لازم نجاوبها كويس جدا. اوكي تعالوا نجاوبها مع بعض. بيقول لي putting a piece of sodium in water. As here we have sodium Na. يلا نكتبها مع بعض. Na plus 2H2O. 2Na plus 2H2O. طبعا الصوديوم can replace what؟ الهيدروجين. kick out hydrogen هيطرد الهيدروجين بره. So we have 2NaOH plus H2 gas evolve. طبعا we can write here just انا هعمل لكم explanation. واحد يقول لي ازاي؟ طب الهيدروجين خرج. اعتبروها كده H الووتر HOH. فالصوديوم replace مين؟ الهيدروجين اهو طالع بره الهيدروجين ودخل مع مين؟ combine with OH اهو NaOH. عشان نفتكر مع بعض جت منين. just we didn't answer like that. يعني we should understand نفهم جت منين. طيب يبقى نكتب the names and colors possible. طبعا هنا اكتب صوديوم plus water produce sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. And we know hydrogen burn with pop sound. بيشتعل وبيعمل صوت فرقعة جامدة. طبعا according to the piece أو the volume of the sodium piece. قطعة الصوديوم حجمها قد ايه؟ طبعا if the sodium piece increase as a volume طبعا الهيدروجين gas will increase and make more pop sound. هيعمل صوت فرقعة أكبر. Okay. As we have here dear students زي ما احنا شفنا هنا مع بعض ال questions depend on the remember of chemical equations. Some depends أو depending on the kind of definitions. ممكن اخد ال definition as for example about مثلا dominant trait and recessive trait. For example no freckles is dominant trait. واحد هيقول لي هنجاوب على أي كلمة. طبعا كلمة freckles معناها نمش. طبعا احنا most Egyptians معظم المصريين ما عندناش نمش. يبقى دي dominant trait صفة. بلاش curly hair dominant trait الشعر المجعد. معظمنا عنده شعر مجعد. a straight hair is recessive الشعر الناعم صفة ضعيفة الانتشار. انا بتكلم هنا as a middle east الشرق الأوسط. طيب انا هجاوب على أي كلمة curly hair ولا dominant trait. جاوب على no freckles ولا dominant trait. طبعا we have to differentiate between dominant and recessive traits as examples and as a give reason. طبعا in give reason we will answer according to dominant trait. And we know dominant trait appears if the gene is pure or hybrid. كلمة pure طبعا معناها نقي وhybrid معناها heterozygous يعني معناها غير نقي أو يعني we have more than one gene different genetic factors. يبقى we can answer by definition. We can answer by chemical equation. تمام. We can answer by compare as a compare between alternating current and direct current from the previous questions. Okay, let's go to complete our revision today dear students with another question as we see here. زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا بيقول لي exposing a man for large dosage of radiation for a short time. هنا بيقول لي what happens. خلي بالنا لو حصل ان الانسان تعرض لجرعة عالية من الاشعاع. جرعة كبيرة large dosage but short time لوقت قصير. ايه اللي يحصل له؟ طبعا here we have vomiting اللي هو القيء، diarrhea اللي هو اسهال، ونوصيا ارهاق. تمام. why due to damage in bone marrow اللي هو نخاع العظم and spleen. spleen طبعا اللي هو الطحال. فطبعا if man exposed او exposure of man to large dosage جرعة كبيرة of radiation but for a short time لوقت قصير، هيحصل له ايه؟ هيحصل له طبعا vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, vertigo. ممكن اكتب كمان برضو جنبهم كده vertigo، مش قادر يقف على رجليه، لازم حد هيشيله. كل ده ليه؟ عشان حصل damage لمين؟ حصل damage as we see here bone marrow نخاع العظم and spleen. طبعا we know bone marrow طبعا responsible for the formation of red blood cells، هو اللي مسؤول عن تكوين red blood cells او كرات الدم الحمراء. طبعا هنا الانسان يعني ممكن كان in this case كان die، يعني ممكن هيموت فعلا يعني بعد وقت صغير اذا ما اتلحقش. طيب what happens in the chemical change of gene؟ لو حصل chemical change of gene، طبعا here we have chemical change of gene we can answer according to the as a scientific term. هنا بيقول لي chemical change of gene. So here we have yes the mutation. هيحصل mutation takes place. طبعا يعني ايه mutation؟ يعني طفرة هتحصل chemical change of gene. الطفرة طبعا يعني accepted traits، صفة غير متوقعة. يعني مثلا person has 6 fingers in his hand، واحد عنده 6 صوابع في ايده، طبعا احنا بنعتبر دي mutation. فدي اسمها طفرة، يعني حاجة غير متوقعة. has مثلا different colors in eyes، مثلا right eyes with color، العين اليمين بلون والعين الشمال بلون، يبقى دي اسمها mutation. يبقى due to the chemical change of gene. So here we have mutation takes place in this case. Okay. طبعا واحد يقول لي طب عرفت منين؟ as we have the key of the answer inside the question. عرفنا من كلمة yes chemical change of gene as a scientific term على فكرة. mutation. What is meant by mutation؟ chemical change أو change in the nature of the gene، تغير في الجين، يبقى هيحصل mutation. طبعا الميوتيشن مش شرط تبقى شيء وحش، ممكن تبقى شيء كويس. As we have here heating of red mercuric oxide. What happens in this case as we have heating of red mercuric oxide? We 2Hg O mercuric oxides, mercury Hg and oxide which means oxygen, and heating, so they will split هتنفصل by heating into what? Into 2Hg and what? O2 gas. خلي بالنا we have here what? 2Hg and we have 2 oxygen. As a mathematic distribution 2 in before the symbol which means 2 for all the atoms، معناها الكل اللي وراها مش للHG بس. Okay, so here we have red mercuric oxide ده اسمه mercuric oxide and its color is red لونه أحمر. At the same time we have mercury. mercury معناها ايه هنا؟ معناها مش البلانت مش الكوكب، معناها الميركوري اللي هو use in thermometer اللي بنستخدمه في الترمومتر بيبقى لونه ايه؟ yes silver لونه فضي plus oxygen. Just we answer by using what? By using chemical equation. Some students can answer this question. بيجاوبوه ازاي؟ just ان هم remember يفتكروا اللي حصل، يعني بمعنى اصح يكتبوا mercuric oxide will heat and decompose into mercury and oxygen gas will evolve. طب ليه الكلام الكتير؟ ما انا ممكن اكتب just we write the equation, the chemical equation and the names of the substances or compounds below the equation with color as possible. لان في حاجات مش عليكم لونها، يعني we have مثلا color of copper sulfate, copper hydroxide blue, copper carbonate green, sodium nitrate white, mercuric oxide its color is red as we answer this equation. Okay, and we have copper its color is what? is reddish brown or brownish red or red. ممكن اقول الثلاث الوان على الكبر على النحاس، ممكن اقول reddish brown او brownish red اللي هو بني محمر، او ممكن اقول red only. These colors we should remember، لازم ابقى فاكرها. انما other equations without colors but we remember the names symbol and the name، الاسم او الكيميكال فورمولا الرمز واسمه تحتيه. and we have short and sharp، اجابه صغيره ومحدده وفي نفس الوقت I will get all marks about this question. هاخد كل الدرجات على السؤال اللي انتم شايفينه قدامكم، بس just باقل حاجه عشان ما ابقاش بحفظ، لان مش عايز حد يحفظ. زي ما احنا شفنا احنا بنجاوب السؤال، احنا فاهمين السؤال وبنجاوب على how can we understand the question and we pick the answer from the question. Okay, the next question is بيقول لي في السؤال اللي بعديه the deficiency of growth hormone secretion. What happens؟ deficiency هنا معناها نقص. ايه اللي يحصل لو حصل نقص في الجروث هرمون؟ طبعا if growth hormone increase more than normal limit we have gigantism عملاقة. طب deficiency معناها نقص، اقول له man suffers from dwarfism. dwarfism معناها قزامة، او جاي من اللي هو بيبقى less than 1 meter، يبقى طوله اقل من متر. يبقى we have، عرفت منين الانسر؟ كلمة deficiency growth hormone بس. increasing gigantism، decreasing or deficiency يبقى dwarfism اللي هي قزامة. اوكي طيب we have another question here. we have the deficiency of thyroxine hormone. deficiency of thyroxine hormone. لو الثيروكسين هرمون قل، طبعا احنا عارفين الثيروكسين هرمون secreted from thyroid gland اللي انا شاورت عليها ناحيه منطقه الايه in the two sides of the trachea and the neck، على في منطقه الرقبه. طب ايه الفانكشن بتاعت الثيروكسين هرمون؟ طبعا الثيروكسين هرمون بيعمل burning او control the burning of food، بيتحكم في حرق الاكل. لو حصل deficiency of thyroxine hormone يبقى هنا هيجي للانسان مرض. man هنا معناها الانسان مش معناها الراجل. suffers from simple goiter. طبعا احنا عندنا two cases، عندنا simple goiter وعندنا exophthalmic goiter. if we have to compare between them، لو انا حبيت اقارن ما بينهم between simple goiter واكسوثالميك جويتر. طيب تعالوا كده نعمل ما بينهم كومبير. طبعا هنا السمبل جويتر due to decreasing او deficiency of growth of thyroxine هرمون. طيب الاكسوثالميك جويتر، ها اي واحد هيقول لي due to ايه؟ yes increasing of thyroxine هرمون. طيب هنا decreasing of thyroxine هرمون او increasing of the thyroxine هرمون مش حاجه حلوه على فكره. طيب يبقى هنا man suffers from what؟ simple goiter ايه اعراضه؟ symptoms البي سايلنت طبعا ما بننطقهاش symptoms يعني اعراض المرض. هيجي له ايه اللي هو عنده simple goiter؟ طبعا enlarge in thyroid glands. هيجي له تضخم في الثايرويد ايه glands. طب this disease how can we treat this disease او يعني المرض ده جه بسبب ايه؟ يعني give reason for ممكن يسالني decreasing of thyroxine هرمون. هو ليه الثايروكسين هرمون قل في البلد؟ طبعا from the thyroid gland طبعا due to decreasing of iodine in food. نقص في الايودين اللي هو بيسموه بالعربي اليود في الاكل، فبيجيب الايه السمبل جويتر اللي هي due to decreasing of thyroxine hormone. On the other side we have due to increasing of thyroxine hormone we have exophthalmic goiter. واحد يقول لي يعني ايه كلمه exophthalmic؟ هنا اهوت كلمه exophthalmic جايه من كلمه exophthalmosis معناها جحوظ العين. يبقى السيمتومز بتاعت المرض اول حاجه برضو enlarge in thyroid glands. تضخم في الثايرويد جلاند في منطقه الرقبه. نمبر 2 exophthalmosis. كلمه exophthalmosis يعني جحوظ في العين. تمام. نمبر 3 loss of weight. نقص في الوزن. ليه؟ لان احنا اتفقنا مع بعض we know the function of thyroxine هرمون. ايه الفانكشن بتاعت الثايروكسين هرمون؟ ان هو control the food assimilation. الثايروكسين هرمون طبعا يعني لو زاد في الجسم يبقى عمليه الحرق او الاسيميليشن اوف فود او البيرنينج اوف فود will increase، فهيحصل عندي loss of weight. exophthalmosis enlarge of what here we talk about enlarge in thyroid gland طبعا والthyroid gland in the neck region on the two sides of trachea على الجنبين بتوع التراكية طبعا in front of the neck في منطقة أمام اللي هي بتبقى في المنطقة اللي قدام في منطقة العنق. طبعا on the two sides we have two lobes عندنا فصين للثايرويد gland and they connected between يعني مش مفصولين عن بعض one on this side and one on this side and they are the two lobes are connected in the middle متوصلين من النص in front of the neck. يبقى احنا عرفنا الفانكشن بتاعت البيتيوتري جلاند، الفانكشن بتاعت الثايرويد جلاند، function of adrenal gland on the two kidneys, and the last one is the pancreas. طبعا البنكرياس secretes two hormones. One is insulin hormone and one is glucagon hormone. طيب الانسولين هرمون ايه الفانكشن بتاعته؟ واحد يقول لك انا بسمع كلمه انسولين بالعربي كتير، اللي هي الانسولين هرمون، بياخدوه دواء اللي هو suffers from diabetes، اللي هم عندهم السكر. طيب يبقى الدايابيتس due to decreasing of insulin from pancreas، اللي عنده diabetes او اللي عنده سكر بسبب نقص في الانسولين from pancreas. طب ايه الفانكشن بتاعت الانسولين؟ الفانكشن بتاعت الانسولين اللي هو decrease the ratio او the percentage of glucose in blood. وظيفة الانسولين ان هو كل ما السكر يعلى في الدم البنكرياس secrete انسولين، الانسولين will change glucose، هيغير الجلوكوز اللي في الدم اللي هو السكر into what؟ into glycogen. glycogen will store in muscles and in liver، هيتخزن في المسلز وفين؟ في الليفر، في الكبد. طيب if the ratio او the percentage of glucose in blood decrease، واحد يحس انه دايخ كده وبعدين فجأة يحس انه فاق especially during fasting وهو صايم. اشمعنى؟ لان in this case pancreas also will secrete glucagon hormone. طب الجلوكاجون هرمون بيعمل ايه؟ will change glycogen into glucose again، يرجع لي الجلايكوجين اللي انا stored in liver and muscles، يرجعه تاني into ايه؟ into glucose، يرجعه سكر تاني. عشان كده if insulin decrease او pancreas stop secretion of insulin, man will suffer from what؟ diabetes. يعني دي انسر كده لوجيك، يعني مش حاجه وهميه، دي حاجه احنا اوريدي عارفينها ان دايابيتس اللي هو ايه؟ مرض السكر. محدش يكتب لي شوجر ديزيز عشان في للاسف الستودنتس بيكتبوا ما اسموش كده، احنا ترجمته بالعربي مرض السكر، انما هو الانجليش اسمه دايابيتس، يعني decreasing of insulin in blood، نسبه الانسولين decrease in blood او نسبتها قلت في الدم. Okay dear students, we have another question as we have here. يلا نبص مع بعض. بيقول لي heating a blue copper هيدروكسيد. لو انا عملت هيتنج للبلو كابر هيدروكسيد هيحصل ايه؟ طبعا باي كيميكال ايكويشن، برضو هنجاوب بالكيميكال ايكويشن. بلو كابر هيدروكسيد CuOH by 2 by heating. As we studied before, copper will take only oxygen، هياخد اكسجين واحده وهيرمي الباقي، يبقى copper oxide plus H2O as vapor, water vapor. We have here how many hydrogen? We have 2 hydrogen and we have 2 oxygen, but we take here 1 oxygen، اخدنا oxygen واحده، so the rest is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen as H2O. So we write here copper hydroxide طبعا blue. Here we have copper oxide. Copper oxide, its color is black. طبعا والcopper oxide its color is black. الكوبر only، الكوبر لوحده لونه ريد او ريدش براون او براونش ريد، انما الكوبر اوكسايد its color is black. And here we have water vapor. واحد يقول لي كتبت water vapor. Why? Because we have here what we have. Yes, we have heating by heating. وهو بيقول لي في الكويستشن by heating. طبعا الووتر here in form of gas او in gaseous state as water vapor. Okay. Number 9. Pollination of pea flowers of hybrid yellow seeds with each other. لو انا عملت pollination of hybrid yellow seeds together. What happened in this case? طبعا تعالوا نشوفها مع بعض. طبعا هنا in this question how can we answer this question؟ يعني لو by thinking كده لو جينا نفكر مع بعض. We have to pollinate two pea flowers hybrid yellow. طبعا كلمة hybrid هنا معناها ان هو not pure اللي هي كلمة hybrid. Yellow seed with each other. We know yellow seed is dominant trait صفة قوية أو صفة سائدة زي ما بنسميها بالعربي. So hybrid yellow and yellow seed is dominant and any dominant trait is represented by capital letter. طيب so we have parents P which means parents. Okay. Y capital Y small. Hybrid not pure with Y capital Y small. Then we have the next step is gametes. Gametes which means half number of chromosome. As we have Y capital Y small, we separate them هنفصلهم عن بعض. Here we have Y capital Y small. Put each one of them in circle. حط كل واحدة فيهم في circle كده. Then we will distribute as F1 first generation. F1. We have Y with Y. Y capital with Y capital. Then we have Y capital with Y small. Again, we have here Y small with Y capital. And then here we have Y small with Y small. So the answer is yes. Y capital, Y capital, Y capital, Y small, Y capital, Y small, and the last one is Y small, Y small. So we have 3 yellow and 1 what green, because we know yellow seed is dominant. Yellow seed is what is dominant, and the green seed is recessive, يعني صفة ضعيفة, recessive trait. Okay. So here, dear students, in this question we answer according to the problem. يعني احنا هنا جاوبناها problem. Really what happens on pollination to hybrid yellow seeds of pea plants. واحد يقول لي طب اجاوبها ازاي؟ by steps زي ما احنا شايفين, just less than 5 minutes, اقل من 5 دقائق. طبعا problem. We have 3 steps: parents, gametes, and F1. F1 which means first generation, parents which P which means parents, G which means gametes, parents, gametes, and F1 by distribution as mathematic between 2 brackets. First one with first one, then first one with second one, second one with first one, then second one with second one, and so on. We have 4 individuals. عندنا 4 أفراد. We have 3 to 1. We have 4 individuals. 3 are what? Are yellow seeds. ليه؟ لأن احنا we know yellow seed is dominant trait in pea plant. We have tall stem is dominant trait, T capital. We have yellow seed is dominant trait, Y capital. We have red flower is dominant trait, red flower. So we have R capital. We have, for example, green pod اللي هو الكفر بتاع البي بلانت, الكفر بتاع البسلة لونه ايه؟ green. So G capital. Dominant trait is represented by capital letter, and the recessive trait is represented by small letter from dominant. يعني لما يقول لي red flower اقول له R capital. طب white flower ما اقولوش W, اقول له R small. اقول له R small. لما يقول لي جرين بود اللي هو الكفر زي ما قلنا بتاع البي بلانت او البسله, اقول له جرين يبقى جي كابيتال. طب يلو بود يبقى جي سمول. If we have dominant trait. Dominant trait appears if the gene is pure or hybrid. هتظهر في حالتين اتنين، لو الجين pure او hybrid. انما الريسيسيف trait appears only in one case. ايه هو؟ if it pure. عشان كده بيسموها صفة ضعيفة، انها بتظهر لو كانت نقية، انما لو مش نقية مش تظهر. مين اللي بيكسب؟ الدوميننت تريت. اوكي؟ اوكي. طيب لو نيجي ناخد بروبلم مع بعض هنا، بيقول لي calculate the quantity of electricity passing in conductor of resistance 1000 coulomb 1000 ohms for 30 minutes if the potential difference between ends 220 volts. طبعا in this problem we have to determine the طبعا main points. Okay, we have here as a given number one, resistance R 1000 ohms equal 1000 ohm for 30 minutes. So here we have T time equal 30, and we have time in seconds, not in minutes. 30 times 60, because each minute contains 60 seconds. 30 times 60 equal 1800 seconds. If the potential difference between ends 220 volts, يبقى V equal 220 volts. اوكي، نعمل ايه بقى؟ هو عايز مين؟ calculate the quantity Q. So Q is unknown, quantity of electric charge. So we have triangle to calculate the quantity of the electric charge. نحسبها ازاي؟ by mathematical rule. As we see here, we have for example طبعا we have I equal Q over T. Okay, we have as a given here we have T, time موجود. حلو. طب how can we calculate? We have I electric current intensity. واحد يقول لي لا مش موجودة. So we should calculate the electric current intensity, then we will calculate the Q, quantity of electric charge. Or we have another triangle. عندنا another triangle اللي هو بيقول ايه؟ اهو R equal we remember together now, R equal V over I. So we remember now how can we calculate electric current intensity? I equal V over R, which means 1000 نكتب ال V الأول, V 220 over 1000 by calculator. ممكن نستخدم الكالكوليتر اهو. 220 divided by 1000 equal 0.22. 0.22 watts ampere. Don't forget to write the measuring unit beside the number. لازم نكتب measuring ايه؟ unit ampere. So now we can calculate watts. We can calculate Q. اهو Q equal what? Equal I electric current intensity times T. So we can write Q equal I times T. I equal how many? I equal 0.22. Time equal how many? 1800. So by using calculator, 0.22 times 1800 equal 396. So 396 measuring units. columns. البي سايلنت ما بننطقهاش لان ده اسم واحد اصلا اسمه كولم وسموا على اسمه the measuring unit of the electric current intensity. So we have 396 columns as we have here, dear students. So as we see in this equation or in this problem, we have to calculate the electric current intensity firstly from the first triangle. Then by calculate the electric current intensity, we can calculate the quantity of the electric charge from the other or the second triangle. In first term, we talk about speed, acceleration and velocity. In second term, في السكند term احنا كنا بنتكلم على ايه؟ بنتكلم على electric current intensity, potential difference and the electric resistance. We have three triangles in this term. First triangle, I equal Q over T. The second triangle, V equal W over I. V, which means potential difference, W, which means work, over I, electric current intensity. And the last triangle here is R equal V over I. R, which means resistance, electric resistance, and V, which means potential difference, I, which means electric current intensity. By these triangles or these rules, we can calculate any question about any problems in the second term. Okay? We have problems in second term about electricity, electric current intensity, potential difference, and electric resistance. And we have another problems about as we see, the electromotive force of the electric cells. How can we connect them in parallel and in series اللي هم electric cells to form a battery. طبعا electric cells can connect seriously and parallel together to form the electromotive force in the circuit. Okay, dear students, as we have here, next one. بيقول لي show the results of crossing between hybrid red flower pea plant and white flower in the first generation. احنا لسه قايلين ان ال red flower dominant والوايت flower recessive. بس هو قال لي ايه؟ hybrid red. So we have three steps. Number one, parents. Okay. Parents are capital, are small. Why? Because we have hybrid red with white flower. طب واحد يقول لي white flower هكتبها ايه؟ اقول له اكتبها R small. R small. طب R small جنبها ايه؟ اقول له R small تانية. ليه؟ لأن الوايت is recessive trait and the recessive trait appears only if the gene is pure. اتفقنا مع بعض الصفة الضعيفة بتظهر if the gene is pure only. Next step we have gametes. R capital, R small with R small, R small. And put each one of them in circle. حط كل واحد فيهم في circle عشان to separate from the other genetic factor. Then make the mathematical distribution. R capital with R small, then R capital with R small. Here we have R small with R small, and the last one R small here with R small. Okay. We have R capital, R small, R capital, R small, then R small with R small, R small. So we have, here we have red flower. We have here red flower. Here we have white flower. And here we have white flower. So the percentage is 1, or the ratio is 1 to 1. And the percentage is 50% to 50%. As here we have 50% red flower and here we have 50% what? White flour. White flour. So by remember, how can we identify the letters here? لما عرفنا letters, so we can determine parents, gametes, and then offspring. لما عرفنا مين الدوميننت مين الريسيسيف. dominant appears if the gene is pure or hybrid. على فكرة في البروبلم لو قال لي yellow seeds، لو قال لي green pod، لو قال لي red flower، لو قال لي tall stem، لازم هو هيقول لي pure أو hybrid. إنما بالنسبة للريسيسيف تريت مش محتاج، لأن الريسيسيف تريت هي كده كده pure. لو قال لي white flower لازم أكتب R small R small. لو قال لي short stem T small T small. لو قال لي green seed Y small Y small. لو قال لي يلو بود يبقى جي سمول. يبقى انا عرفت الفرق ما بينهم هم كلهم as dominant trait and recessive trait. اوكي. هنا بيقول لي you have as this problem similar cells sorry we have 4 similar cells electromotive force of each one كل واحد فيهم 1.5 volts. Explain by drawing how can you connect them to obtain a battery of electromotive force equal 1.5 volts, 6 volts, 3 volts, 4.5 volts. هو how many cells? 4 cells. Electromotive force of each one how many? 1.5 volts. خلي بالك قال لي explain by drawing. على فكرة حتى لو ما قاليش explain by drawing لازم هرسم. اوكي. So how can we obtain 1.5 volts from all 4 cells here? ازاي هطلعهم؟ اقول له we can connect them. Yes. Parallel connection. As we have how many cells? 4 cells. 1 نعملهم هنا كده. All positive poles are connected together and all negative poles are connected together as we see here like that. All positive poles connected together and all negative poles are connected together. So we obtain what? We obtain parallel connection. In this case طبعا we know positive longer than negative in the electric cell. So EMF in this case equal what? E1 only. لو كانوا حتى 1000 electric cells، لو كانوا ان شاء الله 1000 واحدة we connect them parallel so electromotive force equal one of them. So we have how many? 4 similar cells. We should remember we have 4. طيب number 2 we should connect them to obtain 6 volts. عايزين نوصلهم عشان نطلع منهم 6 volts. اقول له in this case we connect them series connection. Yes. So we have 1. Each positive pole is connected with the next negative pole. We connect them as in series connection like that. Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, and so on. So in this case, in series connection, EMF equal E1 times number of cells. E1 equal how many? Equal 1.5 volts times number equal 4 equal 6 volts. Number 3 we need to connect them to obtain 3 volts. عايز اوصلهم عشان اطلع منهم 3 volts. How can we connect them to obtain 3 volts؟ اقول له اوكي. على فكرة we can obtain 3 volts by 2 ways. ممكن اطلعهم بطريقتين. 1 two, as we see here, two parallel connect with another two parallel, as you see. Okay, positive, positive, negative, negative. Here we have positive, positive, negative, negative. In this area, we have 1.5. And in this area, we have how many? 1.5 volts. So the total electromotive force here equal how many? Yes, equal 3 volts. We have another way to obtain 3 volts? Yes, we can connect like that. As you see, 1 as like that. And here we have 3 parallel. 3 parallel. Like that. 3 parallel equal how many؟ واحد هيقول لي equal E1. تمام. صح. يبقى in this case 1.5 here in this area and 1.5 here in this area equal how many? Equal 3 volts. We can obtain 3 volts by 2 ways. By 2 ways. The last one, the last question in this problem, how can we obtain 4.5 volts? ازاي اطلع منهم 4.5 volts? How come? طيب تعالوا نشوفها كده مع بعض. 4.5 volts we need to connect to series connection. How many here? طبعا 3 volts. 1.5 times 2. And here we connect them parallel. We connect them what? Parallel connection. As equal how many? Equal 1.5 volts. So we have EMF, electromotive force, equal 4.5 volts. So dear students, in this problem, زي ما احنا شفنا مع بعض في البروبلم, according to the number of cells, in all questions, we use the number of cells as in problem. ازاي؟ And in this problem, we have 4 electric chemical أو electric cells. يبقى لازم in all questions, we answer by using 4 electric cells. استخدمنا الأربعة. In some cases, we have 3 electric cells. If we have 3, we should use the 3 electric cells. لأن في some students يقول لك طب ما أنا أشيل واحدة منهم we add another electric cell in other part. لا. We should use the electric cells as in the question. We have 3, we will use the 3 in any question بقى. In the same problem. We have 4, we should use 4. By using electric connection of the electric cells, as we have 2 types of connection, we have parallel connection, maximum electromotive force. لو عندي 50 batteries, عندي 50 بطارية موصلهم parallel, electromotive force بتاعتهم as 1 battery. Electromotive force equal E1 only. If we have to connect them in series connection, to obtain maximum electromotive force, عشان اطلع اعلى electromotive force. Why? Because in this case the electromotive force equal E1 times number. عددهم بقى كام according to the number. عشان كده we have mixed connection sometimes. Okay? As in remote control مثلا we have series connection of battery. So some kinds of as in radio we have series connection of batteries together. So obtain maximum electromotive force. ليه احنا بنوصل البطاريات بالشكل ده؟ عشان عايز maximum electromotive force. In some other toys في بعض اللعب التانية we use the parallel connection we need lowest electromotive force عشان احنا مش محتاجين electromotive force عالية in this case. Okay. So here in this question as we have here ناخد question هنا from first unit سؤال من unit from first term سؤال من الترم الأولاني بيقول لي a body moves from point A northward to B covers 40 meters in 5 seconds then moves eastward to C covering 60 meters in 3 seconds then moves southward to D covers 40 meters in 2 seconds then return back to its origin point رجع تاني لنفس مكانه خلي بالنا انه رجع تاني لنفس مكانه calculate the distance displacement speed and velocity تمام طيب ممكن نرسمها على جنب كده لازم يبقى move from A northward بيقول لي northward شمالا يبقى A to B كده covers how many covers 40 meters in 5 seconds then from B to C eastward to C شرقا يعني cover 60 meters in 3 seconds then moves southwards جنوبا to D covers how many 40 meters 2 seconds then return back رجع تاني from D to A in how many 10 back to its A origin point رجع تاني لنفس مكانه يبقى دي كده كام 60 how many 60 meters عرفت منين لان هنا 60 meters here we have 60 meters in 4 seconds يبقى هنا هكتب 4 seconds calculate distance احسب المسافة كلها distance equal actual length between 2 points يبقى هجمع كله على بعضه يبقى distance equal 40 plus 60 plus 40 plus 60 equal how many so here we have 100 and 100 we have 200 meters as distance displacement equal how many displacement equal 0 بعد ما مشي الكلام ده كله 0 اقول له 0 because the body in this case return back to its rest point رجع لنقطة الأصل اهو قال لي origin point يعني if you return back to your bed every night كل يوم برجع لسريري تاني بالليل انام فيه يبقى انا الديسبيسمنت بتاعتي بكام؟ بزيرو اني رجعت للاوريجن بوينت اللي خرجت منها ان شاء الله الف مصر كلها انما الديستانس الاكتوال لينث between the two points displacement is the shortest straight line between two points طبعا هنا if you return back كانك بتمسح باستيكه كل اللي عملته speed how many speed as we have here v equal distance over time distance equal how many 200 time equal how many here we have 5 seconds 3 seconds يبقى 8 seconds 2 seconds 10 seconds and here we have 4 seconds يبقى we have 14 يبقى v equal 200 over 14 equal how many 14 point اعملها تاني 200 over 14 تطلع 14.3 meter per second. طب الفيلوسيتي بتاعته equal how many؟ velocity equal displacement over time. Displacement equal how many? 0. Time equal how many? 14. 0 over anything equal 0 meter per second. So here dear students we should differentiate between زي ما احنا شفنا مع بعض in this problem we should differentiate between speed and velocity. Speed is distance covered through time unit while velocity is displacement covered through time unit. distance is the actual length between two points. هي المسافة الواقعية اللي انت مشيتها. انما displacement is the short straight line between two points. المسافة اقصر خط مستقيم ما بين نقطتين. يعني لو رحت toward the camera then I return 2 meters يبقى 2 meters are minus here. بخصمهم من اللي انا مشيته. انما distance هي ال actual length. We calculate toward and backward. So dear students, I hope you get more benefits from this episode. Tomorrow we have another episode from 8 to 10 p.m. at the same time. I hope you get more benefits from this episode. Until we meet again, thank you. See you soon. Goodbye.